What is going on, Nintendos? My name is Captain Alex, and you are watching another episode of Nintendo Talks, the segment in which I talk to you guys directly about all my thoughts and predictions about Nintendo's past, present, and future. Now, today I want to talk about something grand, something massive, something incredible. The future! Not just the future and all its complex, infinite possibilities, but more specifically, Nintendo's future and where we're going with the Nintendo Switch from 2019 onwards. Now, obviously, it's pretty early into the new year, 2019. We just had a massive release last year with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The Switch is in the best place it has ever been in its current lifespan. But some of us are already thinking about what's coming next. Now at this point, we are already well into the Switch's lifespan. We're already over 2 years in. We've got a massive amount of great games, but there still is so much more to come already announced in 2019. Hopefully Metroid Prime 4, Animal Crossing, and Pokemon Generation 8. But what about the next generation of the Nintendo Switch hardware? Now a lot of hardcore gamers are still complaining that the Switch is underpowered. For some reason, we still have a large group of people that believe because the Switch doesn't have the power of an Xbox One X or a supermassive $4,000 PC, it is just not a system that is worth having. Now, the Switch is underpowered for what it is. It's a tablet. There are iPads out there with better specs than it, but at the same time, the Switch offers an experience that no other gaming company currently can offer. That doesn't mean we don't want a better version of it, but we also shouldn't be complaining about what we currently have. Now, all that's not to say that we don't deserve a better version of it, because at some point we are going to need a better version of it. We're going to want bigger games, better looking games on the go, because technology is constantly advancing. So when are we going to see the next generation of the Nintendo Switch? Already out there, a lot of people are saying they won't be surprised, or that they kind of expect it to be announced or released in 2019. Quite frankly, I do not see a 2019 release date happening whatsoever. I do, however, see a 2020 release date for the Nintendo Switch 2.0, because at that point we'll already be well into 3.5, almost 4 years of the Nintendo Switch's lifespan, and it will be time for an update. Now, the reason I'm thinking 2020 is going to be the year of the Switch 2.0 is because there's a lot of things happening in Japan that Nintendo could take advantage of. Number one, the Olympics are opening in 2020 in Tokyo. That is a huge deal. Now, while a lot of people are saying that Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games is a completely dead franchise, something that we first saw on the Wii, haven't seen since the Wii U, it could make a comeback, and Nintendo could do big things to not only hype up that series, but to hype up the series on the Nintendo Switch. Not only that, but if this game is on the Nintendo Switch, it would be a great way to sell new consoles. Millions and millions of people flock to whatever country the Olympics are in every year that they are being hosted, and that is an amazing opportunity for a captive audience to buy into and be advertised to for a brand new video game console. Not only just a brand new video game console, but a brand new Nintendo Switch. So while you're waiting for the next match, the next round at the Olympics to start, you could be playing your brand new Nintendo Switch 2.0. But not only that, if we go with the Mario and Sonic route at the Olympic Games, we can have you playing the Olympics while you're watching the Olympics or waiting for the Olympics to start. Mario and Sonic can make character appearances at the Olympics. They can hold events in the parking lots or wherever they might do press type exhibits for the Olympics. Nintendo can have a massive presence there. But all of that aside, there's also another huge thing that is happening for Nintendo in Japan in the year 2020. And that is the Super Nintendo World theme park in Universal Studios Tokyo. Now, you're probably thinking, what the heck does Universal Studios Tokyo, Super Mario, or Super Nintendo World have to do with the Nintendo Switch? Well, while the current generation of the Nintendo Switch is amazing, and I don't have very many complaints about it at all, there are some things that can be improved, and those can be improved to release alongside some really cool features that may make it into a theme park. For one, Pokemon Go has really shown the Nintendo company and the Pokemon company that there is a massive market to bring video games into the real world. Now, of course, we're getting a theme park, but we can also upgrade that theme park experience with technology. So I foresee Super Nintendo World having some kind of Nintendo Switch or 3DS, if it's still kind of being alive and well back then, integration into it. Nintendo at its heart has always been a gaming company. Whether it was Hanafuda cards or video games, they have always been into games. Now, their IPs obviously translate extremely well into a theme park, and I can imagine millions and millions of different rides that will make its way into these parks. But at their heart, they are still a video game company. So I don't think it is unfair at all or a far stretch to believe that we will have some kind of interactivity possibilities with our handheld video game systems in these theme parks. Now, a big thing about that would be the necessity for Bluetooth. The current Switch doesn't have a lot of Bluetooth capability on it. Even if I want to use headphones, I need to get an adapter. So I foresee a Switch 2.0 obviously having that Bluetooth capability built in, and then we can use that to integrate with the parks. Beyond that, maybe we want to go augmented reality in the parks, or QR codes or something like that. Visit the parks, scan these QR codes, unlock DLC and the next Super Mario game that's coming out, or so on and so forth. The problem with that is we need some way to capture these images. The current Switch does not have a camera. However, I do see future generations of the Switch having a camera built in, just like any other tablet. This wouldn't be a very far stretch considering the DS didn't have a camera, the DS Lite didn't have a camera, and then finally the DSi did have a camera, which was used for stuff like this. The 3DS continued that tradition with a camera and brought us augmented reality and 3D games with the use of that camera. Now, considering how popular Pokemon Go is and the integration with video games in the real world, I'd venture to say that the next generation of the Switch is going to have a camera that will help us interact with the real world, and what better place to do it than in Nintendo's own theme park. Now, you're probably thinking that that's kind of crazy to release a console with features that can only be used in a theme park, but at the end of the day, this is Japan's theme park. This is Super Nintendo World in Japan Universal Studios. Nintendo's home is in Japan. So you are going to have a massive audience of people who are going to be visiting this theme park, not only from Japan, but people that are traveling there for the Olympics. Again, we're bringing it back full circle. People that are traveling there for the Olympics in 2020 are also going to be visiting the brand new Universal Studios Tokyo that has Super Nintendo World in it. So now you have two massive reasons why people are flocking to Japan in 2020. It only makes sense to release a console from Japan's very own home company, Nintendo. But beyond all that, Nintendo also plans to open Super Nintendo World in Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Studios Orlando. This is two more opportunities for there to be massive integration with the theme parks with their console. And while some of these theme parks are still years out, Universal Studios Hollywood might not open until 2021, and Orlando maybe the same year or somewhere after, dropping a new console in 2020 gives Nintendo all that time to show how it works in Japan, and then bring it stateside and prove that this brand new console is something that everybody wants to have when the theme parks are finally in their backyard. Now, with all of that being said, these are kind of crazy ideas that I thought of all on my own, and they're kind of far out there, but there are some other kind of simpler reasons why I really don't think Nintendo is going to release a brand new version of the Switch this year. The first reason being, 2018 was a great year for the Switch. We got Super Smash Bros. And now the sales numbers for the console and that game are just skyrocketing. Everybody is grabbing a brand new Switch right now. It would be too soon to release a brand new Switch at the end of this year because you're going to have a whole market of brand new customers that are not going to purchase that system. However, if you wait until 2020, now these people have owned their console for a year, they've grown to love it, maybe they've used it and abused it a little bit too much, and it's time to move on to a bigger and better version, or they've grown to love it so much that they want a better version. But you need to give people time to get to that point, because personally, obviously, I am there already. I will buy a new Switch if it comes out tomorrow or if it comes out in 5 years. I mean, if we're being honest, I'll buy anything Nintendo makes because I have like 2 Wii U's and 5 DS's, and it doesn't even matter. I'll buy whatever they put out. But a lot of people are not like that, and a lot of people don't have the funds to do such a thing. So there's going to be a lot of people who are going to grow to love the Nintendo Switch over this year because Smash Bros. Was just released. That is obviously a major game that crosses every market. Almost everybody is a Super Smash Bros. Fan, and that is a really big driving factor to bring people over to make the Switch, pun intended. So giving them the year to see how their other favorite games play out, we've got our Skyrims, we've got our Dooms, give more AAA titles from these big publishers, show them that even though Skyrim doesn't run at the best frame rate and doesn't have the best graphics, it is still a great experience. Let people grow to love this game over this year, now that they have Super Smash Bros. And have been brought over to the Nintendo side of things, and then you drop a new console so that they can see that, yeah, I need that. This is better than what that was, and that was amazing. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about is The special edition consoles. We have some major games coming out for the Nintendo Switch this year. Like I said earlier, Animal Crossing, Pokemon Generation 8, probably Metroid Prime 4 if we had to guess. We've even got Yoshi coming out. We've got so many games coming out this year that we're almost sure to see brand new limited edition consoles of the Nintendo Switch. So it wouldn't make a ton of sense for Nintendo to drop a brand new Nintendo Switch and then offer limited editions of it. It makes more sense for them to screen print on images for Animal Crossing, for Pokemon Generation 8, for Metroid, for whatever games they might want to have major releases for this year, print them onto the old consoles, get people to gobble those up before you release new hardware. Nintendo doesn't want that backlog of all these consoles from the original version that nobody's now buying because there's a better version. So printing on some graphics just to make them look a little bit more special will move all of that content out. It'll be paired with AAA titles from Nintendo's biggest franchises, and then once everybody's gobbled those up, Nintendo drops a brand new console, better graphics, better performance, and everybody's got to have that one too. And that is it for this episode of Nintendo Talk. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Do you still think Nintendo's going to drop a new console on us in 2019? Or a new version of the Nintendo Switch, I should say? Let me know. Or do you think my ideas about 2020 are pretty solid? I mean, only time will tell. But let me know. Let's discuss. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Let's have a discussion. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Nintendo Talks.